Did inflation really cool in July? I think not. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, August the 14th, and what a week it was. A lot of crazy stuff going on, and the markets keep going higher. And hey, listen, you can't fight the trend and you can't fight the tape, but we'll get in that in our market segment. In the meantime, we had CPI and PPI this week, and according to their numbers, the inflation has cooled. But again, I just always encourage you to check your own spending, your own budget. Okay. Have prices come down far enough to make a difference? Because, of course, those numbers are so misreported to begin with that it's a bunch of bullshit anyways. Okay. I mean, 9.1 or 8.5 now. Inflation is much higher than 8.5%. Just look at the cost of your two core items that you use other than an emergency. Food and energy are much higher than 8% higher. So we can listen to the crap all we want. At the end of the day, we got a problem, and inflation is going to start again because oil is not done going higher. Okay, it may be going down right now, but until we go back to fracking and shale producing, oil is about its low, and wait until we got to get going into it again. And wait until you see what's going to happen in Germany and in the UK. And, of course, with Russia, who is now threatening to sever the relations with the United States because we continue to call them the terrorism sponsor. And, of course, we've talked about this in the past, but you cannot hurt somebody with sanctions if you cannot take away their money. Okay, and as long as you're going to continue to buy oil from Saudi Arabia and others and not produce it yourself, you cannot put pressure on Russia. So you can call them what you want. I don't think you want Russia to sever the relations with the United States, however frayed they may be. Okay, they are not a national power that we really want to get into battle with, because you never know what country is capable of pushing the button to end it for everybody. So I think it's something, again, I can say this, which no matter which side of the aisle you sit on, this administration has done the worst job ever dealing with the crisis in Russia and what's going on in China. Okay. And of course, we now have many Americans, even the ones that voted for President Biden, very concerned about his mental health. Well, what did you think? He had mental health issues when you elected him. What did you think was going to happen? People that are older that have Alzheimer's don't get better with time. They're not like a fine wine that they get better with time. Not only was he the dumbest politician in history beforehand, not only was he the most racist, but now he's got those qualities with Alzheimer's. Okay, is that the person you want in control of pushing the button if needed? Okay, and of course, producer prices also came out this week, which we talked about. But now, interestingly enough, they don't normally count food and energy in these things, but now because energy is lower, they say, well, it came down. Producer prices lowered because of the cost of energy. Well, that is a fact, but let's get some consistent reporting. It's enough of the garbage reporting that every administration in my lifetime has tried to manipulate numbers, okay, to make the American public feel better about things. But I don't think there's anything really to feel good about, okay, because, again, when we look at what's going on, we're making a giant stride towards real socialism or Marxism in this country. Okay, back to the healthcare, which they continue to try to nationalize healthcare. Okay, which is brutal. Okay, just ask the Canadians who fly to the United States to go see private doctors when there's something serious. Okay, but again, socialized medicine does not work. What would work would be to have government insurance companies have the ability to cross state lines and compete for business. Okay, that's what would work. But when you want to destroy the middle class, you don't allow competition. Okay, so it continues to raise the price to make this ridiculous horseshit Obamacare something of value, which it's not. It is the worst. And if it was so good, why does Congress and the Senate have their own insurance, which is not Obamacare? You tell me that answer. Okay. So we're headed to socialism with the new $80 billion to put on more IRS agents. What do you think they're doing that for? Okay. They're not trying. If they really wanted to stop and fix the taxes and the IRS, they would change the tax code. They don't want to do that. They would rather destroy the middle class, because who's paying for those 80,000 employees that are coming on board? Okay, actually, it's 87,000. Who's paying for that? You and me are paying for it. Okay, so you've now got the housing market is starting to crumble. Now, remember, the markets just don't go down on one day and decide that the rally is over. But there are things that you're watching now that are very consistent with other market meltdowns. And housing's one of them. Okay. First of all, the mortgage rates are going higher. Okay. In Las Vegas, if you're buying new construction, you have to be able to qualify for a 7.5% mortgage. Okay. It used to be in Las Vegas, you put a house up for sale, it would sell the same day or the next day and would go over list. Well, I'm seeing houses in my neighborhood, which is pretty new, they can't sell them now. So you're seeing the housing start to melt down once again. Combine that with the pension funds off to their worst start since 2009. Okay. So now we've got a Fed that is totally lost control and has no clue where they sit or where they stand. Okay. And they're going to be forced to increase rates at a faster level. Okay. With the recent rally in the bond market, which has pushed interest rates down once again. Okay. Nominally, we are dealing with rates that are negative about 6%. The Fed has a very good chance of hiking 1 full percentage point next, and then to continue that pace. The free money has to be ended. Okay. They can no longer support the fraudulent fiat currency system and the taxation without representation or inflation without representation. Because what is inflation? It is nothing more than a tax. Okay. So you have a big problem there. And now we throw in pension funds and now college endowments, which they never lose money. They have their worst performance since the financial crisis. Okay. So now we're starting to see a pattern to start to show up. And of course, the tenants, there's a tenants union that are now urging Biden to declare a national emergency on rent gouging. Now, as far as I know, markets are free. Okay. If you don't want to pay the rent where that landlord is, go to another building. Okay. The landlords already got screwed when they put on the rent moratorium. Should the landlord be responsible for not getting paid during a crisis of COVID when the Congress took a raise? Okay. Or should we have a real business? Okay. And it's a business decision. You don't want to pay the rent there? Go somewhere else. Okay. I think it's pretty simple. You'll find price discovery somewhere. You don't think that tenants are together raising prices, so yet we want to get the federal government involved, which has no business involved in an individual business's affairs of what they want to charge. Okay. But yet we have that. Okay. We have that again. And of course, the high cost of power, electricity, fuel. Companies are in a lot of trouble now because, of course, the cost of doing business has increased so great because of the high cost of energy, high cost of electricity, natural gas, crude oil. Okay. that it's going to become a problem. Now, you're already seeing it play out in Germany. They have to have shutdowns. Okay. In the UK, they have to have power shutdowns. They can't support it. Costs are too great. Plus the fact that our power grid is nowhere near up to the speed of what it should be. Okay. Our power grid is antiquated. And of course, that's not this administration's fault by itself. This goes back to the promises that we are made election after election after election by all politicians that they're going to fix the infrastructure of this country. When is the last time we saw somebody try to fix the infrastructure? I can't remember when. Can you? We have work to be done. And the sad part about it is, if somebody really wanted to get it done, I'm sure you could turn over to private industry. They'd get it done in a heartbeat and employ so many people that would then pay so much taxes. But let's use the workers now. Why are we not fixing the roads, the levees, the bridges, the power grid? What's the reason? Okay. We're so concerned about EV, electronic vehicles, and climate change that we're ignoring the problems that are right in front of us. We're ignoring the problems that cause more problems instead of fixing them. So why don't you, party in power, get off your ass and do something to help this country instead of continuing to beat the shit out of the middle class and knock them on their ass. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, August the 14th. We're going to step out here for a break. We'll be back with our market update right after the break. Well, kids, as you know, we've got many brokers to offer you and many places for you to go. And, of course, all the places I talk about are vetted. I use them myself. I have other brokers, but, again, for our products, for our day trader's dream, for our portfolio models and the futures, CTG, there's nothing like them. They are by far the best service industry in this industry. They answer the phone, first of all, which is obvious in this day and age is nearly an impossibility. Number one. Number two, they do a great job at execution. They're there for you. They'll help you. They have 90% of my accounts. Okay. And they'll be happy to help you. Check them out. info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And of course, for equities and options, there ain't nothing like Tradier. $10 a month, it saves you thousands of dollars a year. You could fund your IRAs if you would use Tradier brokerage. Okay. Plus the fact that our equity members get free auto trading included in that $10 a month. And our hedgers license the software from us, but then get hedging done automatically as well based on the percentages they set. Try.tradier.com/Bubba. That's try.tradier.com/Bubba. And remember, our high school program at patreon.com/Bubba Trading. We're trying to get back in, but of course, under this current political scene, teachers don't want to work either. So it's hard to get them to teach financial literacy to high school students. And by the way, yesterday we did a great, we called it the Everything webinar, all educational. Okay. If you want to check it out, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. I'll send you the link. It's recorded. It was phenomenal. We offered some great specials, which are good until tomorrow night at midnight, Monday. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my market update. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, August the 14th. And, of course, markets had continued to rally, which is beyond comprehension. And I would venture to say that if you weren't following me, you wouldn't probably be long right here. You'd either be short or out and be in trouble. Okay. And of course, we continue to remain long the markets. I don't think it's the right position. But again, I'm not going to argue with the fact that the markets are going higher and they continue to push higher and are now on about 3-month highs. I mean, all we have is rally every day. Volume stinks, but it doesn't matter. What matters is what is the price at the end of the day, because the market is always right. Okay. And that's what matters. In the meantime, as we look across, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell all had big up weeks. Okay. We are long, obviously, all four and continue to be so. Again, how long will they go? Nobody knows. At some point, they're going to turn around. At some point, I still say we see a 50 to 60% haircut. But that doesn't mean that it's today, and I'm not positioned for it today. And as far as my long-term portfolio, I'm always long. I don't care. I'm going to hedge it anyways. Doesn't bother me. I'm happy when it goes down. Buy some more shares. Okay. In the meantime, precious metals kind of split up here a little bit. Silver has broken out to the upside, which we're now long. Gold is struggling, trying, but it hasn't been able to get past that precipice to turn to a long trend. So we're still short. We no longer trade platinum because it's not liquid enough, but platinum would probably be long at this point. But it is up against resistance. In crude oil, crude's still in a downtrend. We're still short. Now, again, I think that that's going to eventually turn out to be wrong. But of course, we'll have made so much money by the time it happens that it won't matter. But I do think that you're going to see crude turn at some point here. But right now, there's a lot of pressure on it. And, you've got a lot of people that aren't driving right now because, again, they can't afford to drive. It's got, drive or eat. And, you got to be very careful of where you spend your money. Okay, this is the destruction, again, of the middle class. But in the meantime, I expect it to go higher. But for now, we're short and we'll stay there. Natural gas is continuing to be higher, and of course, we're still long. Copper, we're still short. And it looks like it's about ready to break out, though. It wouldn't be a surprise, but I think there is also a chance to see some pressure. But we are coming up to some pretty key levels. But again, for today, and there will be no reversal here, we're still short. Okay. In the dollar is still kind of now churning in consolidation, which we're still long. The euro currency, we're still short. And Bitcoin, we're long, which is now looks like it's starting to lift off a little bit. But, it's only at 28,000. But, we'll continue to watch price action. That's what you're watching. You're watching the price action of markets. That's what's determining final decision. Not what the news says, not what you read. That's all old news. That's all garbage. Okay, so remember to focus on what you can, and that's the price action of the market. Okay, as we look at the grain markets, well, on Friday it was WASDE, okay, which I said, if you listen to my update, I said, if they crack the grains hard off of WASDE, I'm going to be a buyer. And they cracked them hard, and I was a buyer, and they rallied about 20, 30 cents, depending on the commodity, on the grain. But again, we're still short corn, we're still short wheat, we're long soybeans. But I do believe, as I say on RFD regularly, they're going a lot higher. That's my opinion. But again, for now, I'll be short. I'll take the money on the short side until it's time to get long. The protein complex continues to be relatively strong, which is fats, feeders, and hogs. And I would expect to see, them churn. I don't think there's a lot of room on the upside, with cattle, fat feeders at 190 and fats at about 150. I don't think there's a lot of room to go up, but I don't think they're going down either. I think, again, they churn. I think you buy dips and take some profits at the resistance levels. And hogs, the same thing. And hogs are very high priced as you go into the forward curve, looking into October and December, much higher than usual. So we'll see. Again, this is going to come down, I think, to crude oil and the cost of eating versus driving versus taking care of your family. And, of course, in the softs, cotton we reversed in our long, which was up limit on Friday. And cocoa, which we're still short, it was higher for the week. Sugar, we're short, was higher for the week. OJ was higher for the week, and we're long. And coffee, we're long now. And, of course, that was higher for the week. So, again, I think the commodities have lots of room to run to the upside. Okay. I think that the commodities, when this is all said and done, I think commodities are the place to be. Okay. So, but in the meantime, again, you can only play what you got. You can't tell the market what to do. The market is always right. You can only play what's in front of you. So just be very careful. It's very slow. We've done great day trading every day, but the action has been slow. And we like it better when it's fast and furious. Okay, we're going to step out for our final break. We'll be back with, of course, my commentary right after this break. Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, August the 14th. Well, kids, listen, we did a great webinar yesterday. We called it our Everything webinar with teaching a lot of basic stuff about trading all the way from the beginning, and then showed how to apply it to the products that we use. But again, it's free to you. It's a free education. I would highly recommend you check it out. If you want it, just email me at bubba@bubbatrade.com. I'll send it to you. And of course, don't forget about our sponsors. I won't go through all the information, but Capital Trading Group for futures in commodities, trade here for equities, options, and soon to be cryptocurrency, and of course our high school program. Listen, we just want to help educate everybody in everything that we do, because I think that too many of us are undereducated when it comes to finance and follow too many losers that are only trying to screw us. All right, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, and we'll get back there right now. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 14th of August. And of course, as you know, every week I give my commentary, and the first big commentary is from now on, football every weekend until February. That's the good news. Anyways, I find it interesting, okay, when we look around at what's going on and we watch the idiots run this country and we watch some of the rules that are in play. And isn't it interesting that a baseball player or an athlete gets suspended for gambling on a game, yet our politicians and our Federal Reserve can have all the inside information. They are the regulatory body for those issues, and they can control winners and losers. Now, don't you find that to be somewhat suspect? What about Nancy Pelosi buying, or not Nancy, her husband, buying $5 million worth of NVIDIA stock and then pushing for a chip bill to go through? Okay. I mean, again, shouldn't they be held to the same standards of insider trading and other things as we are? It's amazing how much government employees get away with stuff that we would be in jail for when, again, they have a direct effect and they have legitimate inside information and control to push the bill. I think that something's got to be done about that, and I call bullshit on all of it. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday the 14th of August, and as always, I thank you. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. And until then, have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy whatever football's left, and we'll see you back here on Monday morning with Bubba's Daily Update. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.